without ever really talking about capitalism. Let's not dig that deep. We'll just stay up here on the surface. It's really nice up here on the surface area. Philanthrocapitalism, which is exactly what you think it is, but all these incredibly rich people, the richest of the rich, the Bill Gates, the Warren Buffetts, the Koch brothers, the Musks, and this goes back years and years, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, etc., the Rothschilds, all of them. They give a lot to philanthropy to whitewash their image, to whitewash their name. Like if you go to the Smithsonian in DC, you will see like the Natural History Museum or whatever. You will see one of it's called the Hall of Human Origins or something, and it's called the Koch Hall of Human Origins, KOCH, named after the Koch brothers. And that kind of stuff is done to whitewash their image, but it goes much deeper than that. It's not just for whitewashing their image. It is to give them, sometimes, not all the time, it is to give them control over various things. So this article at Popular Resistance, great outlet, by the way. Hey, and if you want news, if you want all the news I cover and everything else, and you're wondering where to go for your news every morning, radindiemedia.com. Radindiemedia.com. In fact, before I get to this story, I'll show it to you real quick. This is where you should get your news. radindiemedia.com. I created this site with Eleanor Goldfield, and it's not a moneymaker. It doesn't cost anything. You can just go there every day, get your news. radindiemedia.com. Set it as a bookmark. Why not? Why not? All right. So Popular Resistance, we feature them a lot there. Anyway, so I love that the top image is Bill Gates with a crown on in front of farmland, because Bill Gates is the number one private owner of farmland in the United States. He's not the number one owner of farmland. That's corporations, but he's the number one individual owner of farmland. And the article says, while the many philanthropies of the world address social injustice, gender discrimination, and countless other issues, there is one topic that is off limits to most of them: changing the capitalist system itself, the source of many problems that philanthropy aspires to solve, or ostensibly aspires to solve, right? Bill Gates tells you the reason he owns so much farmland and is working with food is to feed the world. That's what he claims. I'll let you decide whether that's the truth or not. But they ostensibly want to solve these problems. You know, feeding the world, dealing with illness, dealing with inequality. A new book called Post-Capitalist Philanthropy has come out about this issue, and the author says a few people have amassed so much wealth that they're now determining the agenda for civil society. And, you know, Bill Gates, for example, is one of the biggest decision makers at the World Health Organization. Because he gives so much to the World Health Organization, they basically can't make a decision without running it by him. Ostensibly, we're told, continue from the quote, ostensibly, we're told that this is for social benefit, but actually they're getting huge amounts of tax breaks, social and political power, and undermining democracy itself. And this is such a key point, and it also goes, there's so many aspects of our society where this is true of those areas of our society, even independent media, even those who I consider my colleagues and my comrades and my whatever third word that means fellow people, who are revealing the truth. Many of them won't go to the deepest level of, let's talk about capitalism. How does capitalism work? Are we a cancer in this economic system? Are we a cancer on the world? The answer is yes, because the economic system requires infinite growth on a planet with a limited number of resources. You cannot, if you put something in a jar and that virus, that fungus, whatever you put in there has to eat whatever you put in there for it to eat. Whatever the host is in that jar, it will eventually eat it all and die. And that's how cancer works too, right? It eats the host and then the host dies. We, with this economic system, are a cancer on the world. And there are so many things, such as media, such as government, such as philanthropies or philanthrocapitalism, that they may be trying to, at certain times, they're trying to solve these problems or alert to you these problems without talking about capitalism. So they can't. It's just they don't want to. We can't. What could it be? Why could all the things are dying? What could the answer be? And it's all band-aids on a corrupt and destructive system. It's like a philanthropy trying to save the rhinos. Yeah, I want the rhinos to live. I am a rhino fan. Okay. Oh man, they're so cool. They look like dinosaurs. They're chubby unicorns, for fuck's sake. They're chubby armored unicorns. How are we not doing everything we can to save the chubby armored unicorns? Like, unicorns are beloved. Anyway, I want to save the rhinos. But when the only organization to save the rhinos says, well, let's feed them more and let's protect a little bit of their land. Yes, but that is a band-aid on a system that is destroying all those things, that is destroying the land, that is destroying the water, that is destroying the air, their habitat. And so it's a band-aid on a ravenous system. And you see this again and again. You see it in our media. You see it in our government. You see it in academics, many of them. You see it in philanthropies. We're going to fix the thing, or we're going to alert you to the problem without ever really talking about capitalism. Let's not dig that deep. We'll just stay up here on the surface. It's really nice up here on the surface area. But so this sounds like I said, I haven't read the book, but it sounds like an excellent book. The point of post-capitalist philanthropy, the book, is to try to offer ways to experience a world beyond capitalist modernity. This requires both critique and creative innovation. As the author put it, if you do not have a critique of capitalist modernity, you are contextually irrelevant. But if all you have is a critique, you are spiritually and creatively impoverished. If we do not understand the oxygen by which we breathe, which is late-stage capitalism, neoliberalism, separation from the living world, materialism, rationalism, positivism, scarcity, control, entitlement, then we don't understand the context we're in. And so another point that's being made here that is made more clearly in the whole article, which I'm not going to read the whole thing, but is that if we take these philanthropies, some of them, at face value and say, yes, they want to feed everyone on the planet. Let's ignore whether that's the case or not. Let's just take it at face value. They want to feed everyone. The problem, which I think it seems this book addresses, is one of the problems, is that they're trying to do it in a model that doesn't address capitalism. They're trying to do it in a model which is often white people going over to, let's say, Africa or somewhere in Latin America and saying, here's your problem. You didn't do this or this or this. But that is white people from the West coming with a white person from the West mentality. Even let's leave the white out for a moment and just say people from the West. You come with your Western thoughts and you're living in your Western world and your Western belief system. And you say, we need to force this on those people who don't get it, which is hilarious because it is the unfettered capitalist Western thought that is destroying our world. I mean, far more of the emissions have come, historically speaking, from the Western countries and continue to. If everybody lived like everybody, if everybody on Earth lived the way Americans do with our giant houses and our 3 cars and all that shit, driving an hour to work with a gas guzzler, if everybody in the world lived that way, we would need, 5 Earths, or, there's differing analysis, but many, many Earths to sustain such a thing.